Welcome to Zoe Stories. A failed science experiment made me a girl. Science was never supposed to change my life. It was just another subject, another class I had to pass to get my biomedical engineering degree. My name is Ryan Carter. Well, it used to be, and I was just an ordinary college student at Westbridge University. At 20 years old, I was more interested in hanging out with my best friend, Ethan, and surviving my courses than making any scientific breakthroughs. That all changed when Professor Aldridge announced his latest experiment in our advanced chemistry class. He spoke about a revolutionary serum, one that could temporarily alter human DNA, allowing the body to regenerate faster and even adapt its structure. Theoretically, it could lead to medical miracles. But today, we were testing a mild version just to see how it interacted with live cells. "Any volunteers?" he asked, scanning the room. Nobody moved. I wasn't planning to either. But then Ethan elbowed me. "Come on, dude. What's the worst that could happen?" I sighed. It wasn't like I had anything to lose. "All right," I said, raising my hand. If I had known what would happen next, I never would have agreed. But by the time I realized my mistake, it was too late. At first, I felt fine. The serum didn't seem to do anything. No pain, no weird side effects. Professor Aldridge took my vitals, made me sit under observation for an hour, and then sent me home with instructions to report anything unusual. I figured it was just another failed experiment. But that night, everything changed. I woke up in a cold sweat, my body burning like I had a fever. My skin tingled, and an odd sensation rippled through my bones, like they were shifting under my muscles. My clothes felt strange, loose in some places, tight in others. Groggy and disoriented, I stumbled to the bathroom, turning on the light. The reflection staring back at me wasn't mine. My jawline was softer, my cheekbones higher, my nose smaller. My messy brown hair had grown longer, brushing against my shoulders. My eyes, still the same deep blue, looked too big for my face. Panicked, I yanked at my shirt, and my breath hitched. My chest wasn't flat anymore. I staggered backward, my hands trembling as I reached down. My stomach lurched. Everything was different. No, 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 no. My voice was higher, smoother, almost feminine. I gripped the sink, trying to steady my racing thoughts. This wasn't real.
It couldn't be.
Maybe I was dreaming. Maybe the serum had some kind of temporary effect. Yeah, that had to be it. It had to wear off.
Right?
But what if it didn't? Fear gripped my chest. What if this was permanent? What if I was stuck like this? How would I explain this to my parents? To Ethan? Would anyone even believe me? I forced myself to breathe, to think logically. I needed to call Professor Aldridge. He'd know what to do. He had to. But a terrifying thought whispered in the back of my mind. What if there was no way to fix this? I sat on the cold bathroom floor, my arms wrapped around my knees, trying to slow my breathing. My reflection stared back at me, unfamiliar and alien. This had to be temporary. It had to be. But what if it wasn't? The question gnawed at me, sending waves of panic through my body. With shaking hands, I grabbed my phone and dialed Professor Aldridge's number. It rang and went straight to voicemail. "Professor, it's Ryan." It's me. Something's wrong. The serum it. I hesitated, staring at my unfamiliar hands, the delicate fingers, the smooth skin. "It changed me. Call me back. Please." I hung up and immediately called Ethan. "Yo, dude, it's late. What's up?" His voice was groggy, half asleep. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. "Ethan, it's me. Ryan." A pause. Then a laugh. "Huh, nice try. Who is this?" I squeezed my eyes shut, frustration building. "I'm serious. Something happened. I took that serum today and now my voice broke. I'm not me anymore." Another pause, longer this time. "Okay, what the hell are you talking about?" I forced myself to stand, gripping the counter for support. I look different. My voice is different. I think I turned into a girl. Ethan snorted. "Dude, are you high?" "I'm not joking," I shouted, my voice cracking. Just come over. Please." Fine, fine, chill. I'll be there in 10. The minutes crawled by. I tried to calm down, but every movement felt foreign. My shirt hung off my frame, my sweatpants nearly slipping off my hips. Even walking felt weird, my balance slightly off, my body lighter. A sharp knock at the door made me jump. I hesitated before opening it. Ethan stood there, still in his pajama pants and hoodie, looking thoroughly unimpressed. "This better be good," he muttered, stepping inside. I swallowed hard and flipped the light on. His eyes flicked to me and then widened. His mouth fell open. "Holy sh." "Yeah," I croaked. He took a step back, rubbing his eyes as if that would make me change back. "Ryan." I nodded weakly. "It's me." For the first time since this nightmare started, I saw my reflection through someone else's eyes. Ethan's stunned silence spoke louder than words. Then, barely above a whisper, he asked the question I had been too afraid to voice myself. "What if this is permanent?" Ethan paced the living room, running a hand through his messy hair. Okay, this is insane." He turned to me, his expression a mix of disbelief and concern. "But you're you, right?" I nodded, hugging my arms around myself. "I don't feel different on the inside. But my body." I choked on the words. It's like I woke up in someone else's skin. Silence stretched between us. I could see the gears turning in Ethan's head, the same terrifying thoughts I had been drowning in all night. Finally, he exhaled. "All right. We need to go to Aldridge. Now." My stomach twisted. I knew he was right, but the thought of stepping outside like this, of facing the world in this new body, was paralyzing. My clothes barely fit, and my face wasn't mine anymore. What if someone recognizes me? My voice was barely a whisper. Ethan frowned. "Dude, he winced. You don't look anything like Ryan." That was the problem. I gritted my teeth, my heart hammering. I had two choices: hide in my apartment, praying this would somehow reverse itself, or take control and find a solution. I inhaled shakily. "Let's go." Ethan's brows lifted. "You sure?" "No," I forced myself to meet his eyes. "But I can't sit here waiting for a miracle." The moment the words left my lips, I knew there was no turning back. The night air was cold against my skin as Ethan and I stepped out of my apartment. Every step felt unnatural, my balance slightly off, my movements too light, too smooth. My baggy hoodie and sweatpants did little to hide the unfamiliar shape beneath. The weight of my own body had shifted, and I could feel it in every motion. Hips swaying differently, shoulders narrower. My center of gravity subtly changed. I pulled the hood lower over my face, paranoia creeping in. Every passing car felt like it carried eyes that could see through me, that knew I wasn't supposed to look like this. Ethan must have noticed my tension because he leaned in. "Relax. No one's looking." Easy for him to say. We reached his car, and I slid into the passenger seat, stiff and awkward. Even the way I sat felt different, my legs naturally pressing together instead of spreading out like before. I forced myself to adjust, gripping the hem of my hoodie with trembling fingers. As we drove toward the university, my mind raced. What if Professor Aldridge wasn't there? What if there was no cure? What if this was my life now? I swallowed hard. What if I can't go back? Ethan tightened his grip on the wheel. "Don't think like that. This has to be fixable." But as much as I wanted to believe him, doubt lingered. We pulled up to the darkened campus, slipping into the nearly empty parking lot. My heart pounded as we approached the science building. Every step felt like walking toward an uncertain fate. Inside, the hallways were eerily quiet, the fluorescent lights buzzing faintly. We reached Professor Aldridge's office, and Ethan knocked hard. No answer. My chest tightened. "Try again." He pounded on the door. Still nothing. I let out a shaky breath, pressing my forehead against the cool wood. "I can't do this. I can't stay like this, Ethan." My voice cracked. "I don't even know who I am anymore." He hesitated before resting a hand on my shoulder. "You're still Ryan. No matter what." I wanted to believe that. I really did. But the longer I stood there in this alien body, the harder it became to hold on to the person I used to be. Ethan and I stood frozen in front of Professor Aldridge's office, the silence stretching unbearably. My breath came in shallow gasps, panic creeping into my chest like a rising tide. If he wasn't here, if there was no way to reverse this. Suddenly, a voice behind us made me jump. "You shouldn't be here." We spun around. Professor Aldridge stood at the end of the dimly lit hallway, his face unreadable. His sharp gaze flicked between me and Ethan before settling on me, lingering, analyzing. My stomach twisted under his scrutiny. "You did this to me." I managed, my voice raw. "I drank that formula, and now..." I gestured helplessly at myself. "Now I'm this." The professor stepped closer, his expression unreadable. "I warned you not to touch my experiments." I clenched my fists. "I didn't mean to. I thought it was just..." My voice cracked. "Please, just tell me how to fix it." Aldridge sighed, rubbing his temples. The formula was never meant to be consumed. It was an experimental compound designed to reconstruct genetic sequences. He narrowed his eyes. "And you took it without knowing what it would do." A cold chill ran down my spine. "So, you can fix it, right?" The professor hesitated. My pulse pounded in my ears. That second of hesitation felt like a lifetime. "There might be a way," he finally said, "but it won't be simple. The formula rewrote your biological structure on a fundamental level. Reversing it would require an entirely new compound and time." My stomach dropped. "Time? How much time?" He shook his head. "Weeks. Months, maybe. And that's if I can even develop an antidote." The floor felt like it was tilting beneath me. My fingers dug into my sleeves. "Months? I'd have to live like this for months?" Ethan stepped forward. "There's no other way?" Professor Aldridge folded his arms. "Not unless you want me experimenting on you with unpredictable results." My breath hitched. This was it. My new reality. No quick fix, no waking up tomorrow as myself again. I wasn't ready for this. But ready or not, this was my life now. The walk back to the car felt different. Not just because of the way my body moved now, but because of the weight in my chest, the understanding that this wasn't ending anytime soon. I had spent the last few hours desperately clinging to the hope that there was a quick fix, a way to wake up tomorrow and pretend this never happened. But there wasn't. Ethan glanced at me as we reached the car. "Are you okay?" I let out a hollow laugh. "Define okay." He hesitated before saying, "We'll figure this out. You're not alone in this." For the first time since this nightmare started, I let that sink in. I wasn't alone. Ethan had been here through all of it, helping me, calming me down, treating me like me, no matter how different I looked. I took a deep breath. "I don't know how I'm supposed to do this." "You don't have to know everything right now," he said gently. "Just take it one day at a time." One day at a time. It wasn't the answer I wanted, but maybe it was the only one that mattered. I looked at my reflection in the car window. Wide, unfamiliar eyes staring back at me. But beneath the changes, I was still there. Somewhere. Maybe I wasn't ready for this. But I'd have to learn. Because for now, this was my reality. And no matter how long it took, I wasn't going to lose myself. Thank you for joining us on another captivating journey through Zoe's stories. Remember to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a tale. Until next time, keep exploring, keep imagining, and keep believing in the magic of storytelling. See you in the next chapter.